up? What's going on?
Well, I know y'all aren't here for me. You're here for this dude, Mr. Cody Walker.
Cheers to Sean Davis.
Of course. You got to get a Sean Lee selfie. Life ain't the same without a Sean Lee selfie.
Not at all. Not at all.
This is super fun, right?
It's unbelievable. This is year 4 already here at Irwindale Speedway. This all started right at College of the Canyons. We had a memorial show for Pablo, and
remember it well.
So those of you, Sean Davis, Autotopia LA, a very good friend of mine. The history is pretty deep, actually.
Right?
It goes back quite a bit. So Sean's shop stored Paul's and Roger's cars for a long time.
I did, yeah. It's always funny to bring up that day, right? It's an odd one, but that day, obviously, we know what happened, but you don't know what happened the next day, which was now what, and to rally together friends like Dennis McCarthy and his whole crew to how many tow trucks do you need, how many cars have to be hauled, and it was bringing all those cars over to my place, caring for them, driving them regularly, because I think your brother would have been pissed if they sat and collected dust.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That was a job you were proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you just reminded me, so you guys, we go back a minute, right? Cody and I have done some stuff together. Enough now that I guess we forgot about some stuff.
Yeah, we had to be reminded.
So talk about, because that's, so that Revelocity thing, that kind of led to, that was a foundation point of what's now become FuelFest in a way. It was an inspiration to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think Revelocity's around anymore, but they're just some kids, really.
Yep.
Some enthusiasts up north in the Bay Area. It was probably a year after Paul and Roger had passed away.
Yep.
And they reached out and they said, hey, we really want to help in any way we can, support Reach Out Worldwide, and we have an event up here. Is there any way that you would want to attend, and we can donate to Row, and is there any chance at all that we can get any of Paul's cars up here? And so I called Sean and I said, Sean, can we make this happen? Because it was that's a weird time. It had been about a year.
Yeah.
We transported the white R34 and the Supra.
Didn't we bring the Supra too,
The
right?
white Supra too. The R34 still had the big Reach Out Worldwide decal over the side of the hood.
Yep.
And we brought it up there and we had it on display and just had an incredible time. It was very touching. Smiling, laughing, crying, the whole thing. It'd still be another couple years or so until I think I was ready. I was like, you know what? Those guys did something really cool. They're not around anymore. I know some incredible people in the car community. LA is home for me. This is.
Yep.
LA is.
That's right.
Right. I mean, LA is can't really be matched when it comes to the car scene. And kind of started. It's funny. No one knows this because why would they? But the initial conversation was having. So Chris Lee is one of my partners in FuelFest, co-founded it with me. We started having conversations. We're like, man, we should really do this. It could be something really, really cool. It's like, what about calling it Carchella? And doing a stage and music and getting cars together and getting the community together. I'm like, yeah, that's got a cool ring to it. You know how long that idea lasted? About 2 weeks. Cease and desist from Coachella. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's Carchella. And they go, yeah, you're gonna go before a judge, and the judge is gonna say, well, what's in the name Carchella? And you're gonna be like, well, it's kind of like Coachella. You'll be like, yeah, exactly, you're done.
Yeah.
So we moved on. We landed on FuelFest, which of course is a fun play on Fast and Furious and everything. I think it actually worked out a lot.
Has a cooler ring to it,
for sure. Coachella has no meaningful anything.
It's not relevant here at all. I don't think. But I remember that first one. Now it it was so last minute that in memory of Paul event that you did that really gave birth to this.
That's right.
Like that's the one that gave birth to this concept of holy cow, maybe we can make something out of
For sure.
this.
And I know there are a lot of people here today that were at that event.
I just saw someone back here wearing it in memory of Paul's shirt from that event.
It's so, I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Every time
Yeah.
I see one of those shirts, I'm like, dope shirt.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, we did an event at College of the Canyons in memory of Paul, and I called everybody that I knew. Sean Lee, who was just here,
Right here.
a second ago. Sean Lee, right here. We're brothers. We may not look like we're related, but we're brothers. So Sean Lee is the founder of Purist Group, which is a big car group here in Southern California. They do toy drives, back to school drives. They help out the schools here that are they're underfunded. They get backpacks for the schools. I hit up Sean, and Sean hit up everyone we knew, and we pulled a lot of favors. And we had this massive hit at College of the Canyons. It was so sick. The cops didn't love us a whole lot.
The fire marshal, I remember it quite
Right,
well,
man.
where you thought it was so last minute, some people will probably show up, but it wasn't, you didn't think fire marshal was going to show up going, yeah, nobody else can get in here because you're already over capacity and there's, 2,000-3,000 people standing in line trying to get in?
Yeah,
And there was a lot of people
It was
lined
a
up.
problem. It was a great. I mean, it was very touching because it was a problem. Like everyone was like waiting, but they were smiling and laughing. It's like this is crazy, and everyone's hustling, working so hard, just pulling favors, and it was like, man, this is amazing. I'm like, can we do it again? And everyone's like, like we love what you stand for and everything, but like, if we're gonna make this a sustainable thing, like we gotta make this a thing.
Yeah.
And that was the genesis of FuelFest.
Yeah.
And then kind of constructed a team and put everybody together, and now we do these shows all across the U.S., even into Japan. We're going to be returning to Tokyo Fuji Speedway on August 31st.
So cool.
Which
dude.
is so
I love
sick.
that.
It's such a special place, man, like for obvious reasons.
I was just talking earlier with Nads up here about how. So I'm obviously I live heavy in the muscle car world, right? And you don't see out at car events, you don't see the diversity of people or the diversity of cars that you see at FuelFest. And I'll be honest with you, I think you've created the most diverse car event out there. Did you see, like, I'm curious how much vision you had for this, or was it a lot of, fire ready aim kind of stuff?
I'm kind of that guy. No, honestly, Sean, thank you for saying that. I think we are the most diverse and inclusive show like this. I think what's cool about our event is there's a lot of really cool events, especially in Southern California, right? Without naming any, right? There's some really cool events that are very high-end, very exclusive, very incredible builds, insane builds. But that was never the vision for FuelFest, because I think FuelFest people enjoy cars, and they also enjoy the films. And I feel like a FuelFest is a representation of the people that enjoy that stuff. So it's we've got Paganis and Koenigsegg's over here.
Yeah.
And then we got the Civic Si over here somewhere, you know what I mean? And it's but it's so special to have that, but I've always been so connected to the starter car, right? That's where that started, and or the reasonably attainable car,
right?
When you hit your late 30s or 40s or 50s or whatever, that's next level over there.
That's mansion money right there.
Yeah, but I like the attainable cars, because that's the gateway. That's where people, you don't start over there. You got to start somewhere, and then you're I don't know. I think that it's. I think that's what makes this different. Is it's so inclusive and it's so diverse, and we have everything, and we're not snobby.
Yeah.
That's not the show. Like,
No.
people, it's like, oh, why don't you do trophies? It's like, because I don't want 12 happy people and like 200 pissed off other guys.
Right.
You know, it's like, it's just not, that's not what it's about. It's a kid, it's a family event, 12 and under are always free at the show.
Yeah.
And, I guess I'm kind of just rolling.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what's different about FuelFest.
Yeah. Well, it's fun to see, you know, as your friend and having been there in the first one and a little support along the way, but really just sitting back and watching it. You know, dude, I gotta admit, it's just been, I mean, I've told you how many times I'm proud of you, proud of Randall, what you guys have, you know, because you guys got to know this, right? Sometimes you have a concept for something, you go out and try to execute. You might even have the best of intent, money behind it, everything you should need, but it doesn't actually mean it's going to be successful. Success isn't always guaranteed, even with the best laid plans. And yet, I mean, here we are, right? Like what Cody and his crew have put together. Is this not one of the coolest car events out there? Right? You know?
Yeah, you know, and I thank you all for that very much. It's crazy. I'm definitely in a unique position. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know why. Like I don't know why. I don't deserve the way that like I'm not him, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it's so crazy. It's like I meet people all the time. They're like, oh, your brother's the reason I was into cars, or got me into cars, or I was in an art place, and you know, it set me straight. It was a big influence, and it's like always my response is like, me too. Like let's hug it out.
Yeah.
It's like people don't understand. I'm 15 years younger.
Yeah.
Like I was same parents. I was the accident, you know, and there's like two in between us. He was the old, you know, it's like, it's crazy because when Fast started, like I didn't even have my driver's license yet. I was in 7th grade. So like I'm going to school and people are like, oh my gosh, that's your brother? I just saw Fast and the Furious, that was so sick. I'm like, oh, you saw that? Like, yeah, man, it changed my life. I'm like, cool, yeah, you know, like, I don't know, like, he farts and poops on
Dude,
everybody
whatever,
else.
he's kind of been my brother my whole life and stuff.
Yeah, you know, but it's like, but there was never like that competition. I was so much younger, so it's like he didn't thump on me, you know, it's like
Yeah.
15 years older than me, but he just had such a big impact on my life, and I went from like being like most American kids here is like into like muscle cars, because my dad like Fords and Chevys. He wasn't a Ford or a Chevy guy. He had Fords and he had Chevys at one point or another. We had a like an international like Scout at one point. Super cool. It's like always super cool, interesting things. So like Paul kind of was always into like trucks and all of that stuff. And then he landed Fast and the Furious, which at the time was he had just done the Skulls movie with Rob Cohen, right? And people may not remember that movie, but he did the Skulls with Rob Cohen, and loved working with Rob Cohen. Rob Cohen loved working with Paul, and after that he goes, hey Paul, I'm working on a script. It's got hot chicks, fast cars, and guns, and you could be an undercover cop. Paul's like, all right, I'm in. He's like, you didn't even read the script yet. He's like, I don't know shit. I'm in. I'm doing it. And then they started filming, and then they changed the running title to The Fast and the Furious, like just a few months before the movie came out. And then Paul became an indoctrinated like tuner guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Because he was like going, they were you know, doing the research at night, you know, doing things, and like getting into, you know, understanding that whole world, and then that changed kind of his trajectory with cars.
Sure.
And then over time, he just learned to like appreciate them all. I mean, look at the garage. I mean, it was the most eclectic. Like,
It was odd. And I mean odd in a good way. Like the whole. So one of my favorite cars he had, because I love the muscle car stuff so much, is he had a really bitchy '67 Nova that had been built year one. That's right.
Oh
yeah. That car was sick. That car was super bitchy. But then right next to that, an E36 and an E30, and next to that an R34, and then a Porsche GT3 RS, and it was, and those old station wagons you had. Remember the Chevelle wagon, the Chevelle and the Nova wagon, is like surf wagon. You know?
Well, he's a surf guy. I mean, he loves the ocean. He loves the people. He loves his family, and you know, and he loves cars.
Yeah.
He has a lot of attributes for life that we can learn from. And once you learn that, it carries on to other kids out there.
Yeah.
Carry that actually forever. That's why this friendship we had, we would probably never met wasn't football, and especially me and him.
Right.
And now we turn that energy into something so positive. And I mean, it was very negative. You know, we look at it as something so positive now, and wasn't for him, we would not be having all of you guys here today. And look at the younger generation where you're acting, putting to do the right thing, and you know, and continue to grow each other, you know, friendships and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like anyway, I have people picking out his DNA, putting his hair, trying to clone him now.
So I'm curious, Cody. You've grown FuelFest to this point. You've got 6 events domestically this year. You've got 1 or 2 international. Do you? Actually, not do you. I know you better than that. What are your plans for the future of FuelFest?
You know, putting on even if I mean this is a 7-hour event, you know, and like sometimes it's like, yo, like why is it all weekend? You know, but it's hard. It's so hard because this is not. That's sick. That's great. Man. I love that. That's great.
Love it.
So there's always conversations like, why don't you make this a 2-day event and all of that stuff. I think that would be awesome. It's just this is FuelFest, so 99% of the cars at FuelFest are privately owned vehicles.
Yeah.
You know, and again, back to the whole like how we're not we're not snooty. You know, like there's a little bit of everything. Some of these cars are daily driven cars, so it's like, how do you? If anyone has any ideas on how to do that, we'd love to know. But it's like it's people come in, they load their cars in, they're here all day. It's like they gotta go home. So it's like, how do I turn this into a 2-day thing?
Yeah.
This is not an expo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like I have all of these manufacturers here that have a bunch of demo cars.
Yeah.
Because this is a show that like caters to the aftermarket. So these are all modified cars that are privately owned. So like that is a dream. It's just finding that balance too. It's like we try different artists and stuff on the stage, and it's like, how many people are here for the cars versus it's hard. It's very difficult to like put the two together.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like it's like we're constantly. Sometimes it's a swing and a miss. You know, sometimes like the artist, it's like, oh shoot.
I don't know. You guys have been crushing this since you've done this. That's the thing that keeps standing out to me, Cody, is that, I mean, you got 12,000 people sold out here. You got somewhere around 800 cars.
16.
Is it 16,000?
I don't
Getting
know
old. I can't count anymore, man. But yeah, so I guess I'm curious, and everybody else probably is, and I bet you're just as curious to see, where does this go? This is only, I mean, obviously you had an interruption with COVID.
Huge interruption. Yeah, that was awful for all of us, right?
Yeah.
Didn't matter what you did, like that sucked. We had just kind of started rolling, right? Well, we had done Angel Stadium. I don't know if anyone was there.
I was there.
I know you were there. People back over here were there. Angel Stadium, and we had like a river.
We got totally rained out.
Totally rained out.
Right.
We still had like 7,000 people in the rain in SoCal.
Oh yeah.
People don't go outside.
No, it was. I thought for sure it was about to just be a dead.
It was like special in that way.
Yeah.
Because everyone was just like soaking wet but like smiling.
Yeah.
It's like, you look miserable. Yeah, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
And it's like we had like some other crazy multi-million-dollar cars out there in the rain.
That's right.
It's like those owners don't.
That
usually
event was
do
really kind of a kick-ass. That was I think that's probably what gave you a concept of, oh, this could really actually become a viable business.
Yep. And then we immediately did something that was psycho, and we went to the UK.
Yeah.
It was August of 2019. We did an event in the UK. There are huge earheads over there, right? And we had an awesome event. And then we had sick plans for 2020, and then COVID rearranged everything, and we had to let some people go. And it's like, I don't know I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know that we'll come out the other end. Like I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do live events. Like I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And then we got so lucky. So 4 years ago, it was 2021. LA still very, very much locked down, and we just freaking kept pushing the date, which was like a difficult situation. It's like I hope people understand. Like we don't want to cancel, but like, we're gonna push it, and then we hear like, oh, they're gonna open things up, and we're like, wait, when are they opening up? Like June 19th. We're like, that's on the weekend. Like that's the weekend that we currently have. It was like the gates had opened and everybody came out. They had been locked up. They couldn't do anything like that for forever.
Yeah.
And like we came out swinging because we had that date. Everyone was out here. This is like open air. It was like, you know, it was like throwing the mask in the trash.
Oh yeah.
It was just so epic. It was such a cool way to like ride from the ashes of all of that, and it's been nonstop ever since.
Yeah. Well, I don't know the schedule of things, what we're supposed to do. I'm sure you're supposed to probably be running off to another thing, right?
We got about 6 more minutes.
Do we have 6 more minutes? Okay, cool. I'm not at a loss for words, that's for sure. Cody definitely isn't at a loss. So let's go off FuelFest subject for a second, because we got to do an epic trip a few years ago. By the way, we're going back in 2 weeks. I'm so bummed you're not going to be with us.
I've got to go back.
So you guys, we're friends with this group in Germany called Chrome Cars. Chrome Cars is hardcore car people. Owns lots of movie cars and stuff. They also own lots of retired race cars. Why don't you like just get the G-rated stuff that we're allowed to talk about here? Because I could end it with the not G-rated
These guys
stuff.
are great. They're East Germans. Like I had been to Germany before, never been to like East Germany.
Yeah.
It's got a totally different like feel and vibe to it. But they Chrome Cars. If you go on Instagram, like they just got the sickest collection of cars. They just like to have fun. We went out there. Your brother also was with us, and we got there just like, hey, here's the keys to this, here's the keys to that, and we end up going to the Nürburgring, the Grand Prix, the Grand Prix course.
Yep.
And they're like, hey, you want to take out this Porsche Cup car? I go, I'm terrified. I'm like, yeah, I do. Like when in Germany, I guess. And like hop in the car, and here I am doing laps at the Nürburgring Grand Prix, like. And it was like a gentleman's like day or whatever, and so there was like all these like heritage era multi-million-dollar cars, and it's like after you, like why don't you go on, like bye, like I don't want to send this thing, like. And
how about launching cars out at the shutdown airstrip?
Oh my gosh! We had your Cuda.
The Cuda.
We had the GT2 RS.
Yeah. That was so fun.
We were all laughing like a bunch of that was hilarious.
Such a great trip, man. I'm so bummed you're not going to, you know, there's not a competing event in the slightest, but there's an event that happens in Poland called Ultrace, and so the Chrome Cars guys are bringing us over. My buddy Chris has his car, Vicious Mustang. Right now it's in France. It just landed there recently. Headed over to Germany. It's going to be on display at Ultrace, and we're hoping to get clearance to drive it around the ring.
Now you make me want to go.
See, you blew it.
I gotta go try this.
Right?
I gotta go Asia.
So I'm curious, I'll bet some of you guys have got to have a question for Cody. So I'm gonna pick one of you. Give me a clue if you have a question for Cody. No, nobody has a question? Like, do like in school, raise your friggin' hand, right? No, not a can I get an autograph, like an actual question. Like, is there something from Cody Walker you're curious about? Okay, what are you curious about? Here you go, here's your mic.
I want your opinion. Can I get your opinion on that shipbox?
Did I open a can of worms
on that
you?
240 shipbox right there? Right there's a black and white one. Let me get your opinion.
Hey, it looks good from over here, bro.
Hey, from far, huh?
Hard to give an opinion when you haven't driven a car. I see this guy looks like he's serious with a question. What's your question? Yeah. I saw you raising your hand. Come on up front, dude. Hope you don't mind me opening this up.
No, it's all good.
I mean, they're all sitting around watching us. You should get to ask a question or two.
What's up?
You can introduce drag racing next event.
Drag racing here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so our first, if you recall, I don't know if you're here. The first year we were here, we were over there on that side. We did have the quarter mile going. We have some difficulties with the number of people we have and the parking and everything, and like how it's kind of disjointed from this half. I feel you though. Like we really, that's what really brought us here initially. We're like, dude, drag trip, you know, the whole thing is here. It's something that I would love to have at every event. Drag is like, it's so venue dependent because we can no venue unless they have. I guess that doesn't help because they have one here. But it's just disjointed from everything else. That's why we haven't been utilizing it. I would love to find a way to like do that. But yeah, like a lot of our other venues are just tracks and they don't have drag strips and they won't let us prep the surface and like do all of that stuff. So I don't know that answers the question other than it's just way over there and we're using the infield here.
You're just so damn nice, dude. Here, I'm going to simplify that. Drag racing ain't happening. I'm bummed too, dude, because I love drag racing. But I get it. I get your reasoning behind why. Anyhow, you guys, look, it's 4 o'clock. Cody's got to get on to other things. He's going to be running around all over here. Dude, like, you know, I always love hanging out with you, man. And even if it's here on stage with a microphone in our face, thanks for, you know, for you and Randall asking me to be a part of this with you. Of anybody that could have been here interviewing you.
No, I'm glad to know. This was meant to be. I'm glad it was you.
Where's Randall? I'm gonna give him some crap.
Right on, you guys. Well, we're gonna pass the mics on to whoever's next. Stick around, have fun, and give Cody a massive round of applause.
Thank you, Sean. Thank all of you guys very much. Really appreciate you. Hope you have a great time the rest of the time here. And I'll be floating around, so if you catch me, say what up.